Nothing to say in true Mrs. Collins fashion. I have not, where did I go? Prepared anything. There was a whole bunch of stuff that I was like, hey, I should talk about that, but then my brain does my silly brain thing. Let me turn this off real quick. Sorry. Got some feedback. Okay, that's better. We do have company today. I can do it. There it is. Rocky and Zoe's here. She's just laying down. I was going to talk about the all of the fun riots we're having now, because apparently they're widespread, and there's a lot of people that are being alleged to fund them, which, you know, is not terribly surprising. It does happen. Let me see if I can make sure I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. So I was going to do an episode today, just like last week, and I got behind because I do that, especially right now because we're in the process of moving, which is like super exciting and fantastic and scary all at the same time. But it is happening, and so there's a lot of my time needs to be devoted to other places, and unfortunately, the channel is the first thing that gets put on the back burner. I'm gonna try and get ahead of things, and put up a few things. Keep my episodes running. I do have to send a message real quick because of course I'm working still. Okay, doing the work things. But I did have some stuff that I wanted to talk about today in the episode regarding all of the riots everywhere else, and I decided I didn't want to do that because I like being a distraction. Everybody and their pet kangaroo is talking about the riots right now, and that's not that's not fun stuff. It's actually really awful. It's really bad what's going on. I saw that they're happening in Texas and in Santa Ana and New York and what was it, a Virginia or a Carolina, and I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. So moving. Last time we were live, we talked about how the landlord was being really awesome, which is completely unusual in California. That doesn't typically happen. Hey, Prince. Yes, live stream instead of an episode because I procrastinate. And I've been working on the moving thing. So we got almost everything packed up. That is the only picture that is hanging in my entire house because it's covering holes. And we were having people walk through and we didn't want the holes to be shown. We're going to patch those up once we are ready to go, which is happening on July 2nd. Early morning, July 2nd, we are out of here. We're going to hit the road. We are technically going to be homeless for 5 days. I mean, we'll own the other home, but the current owner is like requesting 7 days. So she still has possession of the house for 7 days. So we'll be homeless. It's going to be interesting. I've never been homeless before. and it's only kind of, sort of, it's not really. But we've been doing all of the packing up, and so I got myself set behind, and the landlord has been gracious enough to let us out of our lease. And they already, with one walkthrough, they already found somebody. Like, it was posted the next day we had a walkthrough, and then he's like, hey, found somebody. Because this area is like, it's like super desirable without, divulging where I am. It's a very high-end area. Well, not very high-end. It's a relatively high-end area, and it's one of the safest cities in California, and that probably just did it. Hopefully nobody does any research. But there are quite a few safe cities in California. Speaking of safe, we are 40 miles away from all of the fun stuff happening in LA. And we actually did a service in LA yesterday and in the sun. And hopefully you can't tell, but I am very sun-kissed. It's super. Okay, hang on, here it is. Can you see that? I got a farmer's tan. Well, it's going to be a farmer's tan right now. You can't even see it. You see the bruises because I bruise. If you breathe on me, I bruise. But we were out in the sun yesterday, and it was strong. It wasn't even hot where we were. It was in part of LA, still quite a ways away from all of the hubbub out there. But it wasn't very hot. It was just the sun. The UV level was insane. All right, Prince, how are you doing today? What you got going on? I'm sure you're working because you rock and you do like worky things. It says there's 3 here. Yep. I'm going to keep asking you questions and distract you from your job. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want you to get like in trouble or anything like that. That would be bad. Yeah, the second, early morning on the 2nd, we are out of here, which is incredibly exciting. No worries. Oh, yeah, well, I wanted to make a scene, but I'm not gonna. That would be wrong. And plus, like my brain, when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna say this, and my brain goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because I have, it's kind of like on the spot dissociation when I'm like, I have something specific that I want to address. It says no. And I can ramble incoherently quite well for a very long time, as I'm sure you all have figured out. But when I actually want to say something specific, I have to take a second and be like, okay, let's put my words together if it's on a certain topic. Otherwise, I can just drone on and on about nothing and get nowhere, which I seem to be good at. It is warm today. What was I saying? Oh, we're gonna do like one of those. I hate moving, but I love moving because in the line of work that I do, it's good to get rid of things. Like I don't like seeing clutter because I see a lot of it every day, and I just don't want to see any more clutter. So we do a regular purge here just to get rid of all of the crap that we don't use. Like over the last 6 months, if we haven't used it, we get rid of it. And now that we're moving, we're like, okay, going through cupboards and going through closets and like, why do we still have this? It's really, it's like a relief to see things just not here anymore. I mean, it's kind of sad because all of the rooms echo like crazy. There's zero furniture. Well, not zero furniture. There's a couch, my big couch that I'm giving to my mom because I don't want to move it again. But we there's half of the house is empty. Okay, this is insane. We're living in a 2,700 square foot house. That's what this is in California. And the rent is crazy, and we're going to be paying half for a mortgage of what we pay for rent here, which is mind-boggling because I've lived here my entire life, and I don't know why we haven't been like, hey, it's better somewhere else. Well, it could potentially be better somewhere else as long as the business continues to thrive the way that it is. But 2,700 square feet. There's 5 bedrooms in it. My son has 2 rooms. He's got 2 rooms. Just because it was what was available when we wanted him to go to the good schools, because there are incredible schools here in this city. And the schools that we lived by were not so bueno. And, you got to do what you got to do for your kids. Luckily, where we're moving has the same ranking of school, but there's not 45 children per classroom, which is amazing. My son is absolutely brilliant. The kid just drives me up a wall with how smart he is. I don't even understand it. Like, there's no, hey, I need help with my homework. Except once. There was one time that both of my children are like, hey, I need help with my homework, and it was quadratic equations. That's the only thing that my brain does not do when it comes to the math. Like, I've always been good at math, but quadratic equations, for some reason, they behoove me. I cannot do it. But he's so smart, and we're going from like a really, really good school to another really, really good school, which is exciting. He's got like 4.2 GPA. That kid just No help from homework. Come home every day. Hey, you have homework? Yeah. You need any help? Nope. His entire life so far, which just it's great. It's great. I really hope that that continues and that he succeeds in life. I see him succeeding, which is good. My daughter, on the other hand, I see her succeeding as well, but she did have some struggles, which is okay. She had a hard time when it came to reading and turning those words into the story in your brain. It was just words, like she was reading word, 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 word. And that happened for a while, and she struggled with that until, we sat down and we were like trying to read, like we'd read a paragraph and then I'd be like, okay, now what did you see? And she's like, I saw the words. I'm like, no, baby. And then we worked on that, and she really blossomed a lot when it came to high school, which is fantastic. We were a little concerned that would never happen inside of her head. And then that whole thing where they're like, some people don't have an inner monologue, which I think is absolutely weird, that people don't have a monologue inside their head when they're reading or talking or thinking, just thinking, what's going on in their brain. And we were concerned that maybe she just had that creativity not there, but she has blossomed so much. She's super artistic, not autistic, artistic. She paints just absolutely fantastic paintings, and she likes to do nails, which is really cool. It's a good trade. So she wants to go to school for that, which is cool. And her artistic abilities really shine through when she does. I mean, I let her do my nails before, but I work with my hands and they break constantly, so I can't do that. And then it rips them off. Fake nails is bad. I'm not a huge fan of the fake nails just because, my nails are already brittle as it is, and then I don't want them to break off and be gone, and then they're uncomfortable for a very long time. All right, so what's everybody got going on today besides working? Prince. It says there's 4 folks in here, but nobody's got words to say. Oh, look, 5. We're up to 5. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, they left. I did have company. Look, you can see his paws right there. He doesn't even want to. I can't do the thing where you point at it. My brain can't backwards stuff. Oh, look, there it is. You got a cookout? That's cool. Oh, hey, YouTube is run by criminals. You got the day off. It's Wednesday. Who has Wednesday off? I got Wednesday off too. My son went to work instead because I did work yesterday and got all sunburnt. Cookout. Dude, the next like few weeks, everybody's like, "Hey, let's get together," and my brain's like, I don't want to, because my son has friends. He's got this really awesome friend group that I feel terrible about because we're taking him away from that, and all of their parents are like friend people, and I'm not a huge fan of a lot of people. It's terrible. I know. But I have difficulty not making friends. But like, I don't know. Some people are like, hey, we should hang out. And I'm like, I'd rather go to bed because I'm old and that's what I want to do. But we got a lot of people that are like, hey, come on over. We're going to, hang out and, say goodbye. And I don't know. We're going to do it. And it's not because I don't like them, because I do like them. I just, being around other people with my, it's just, I think way different, and I'm super like out there when I say things sometimes, and maybe I feel like I'm embarrassing my family and I should probably just shut up because you hear me rambling. This is how I am. Which is terrible, I'm sure. But so what are you doing today? criminals. YouTube is run by criminals. What do I call you? Criminal? Because everybody has a name-ish thing. Like we got Prince, and then there's Priest, and then there's my cousin. And YouTube is run by criminals. That's too much to say. Glenn. No way. I can remember that. Glenn. Glenn is fine. I'll call you Glenn then for a while, I suppose. But you know what happens when you do a live stream and then you say something? You've already said that. I can't go back and delete and be like, oh, shit. And then I say shit. And then YouTube's like, no, you can't say that word, which they actually don't mind too much. But I really don't care. Oh. So about a month and a half ago, was it a month and a half ago? What's today? June. 2 months ago, I applied to do the partnership thing with YouTube, and they're like, hey, no, because you talk about controversial stuff, and it's controversial topics, which is harmful to viewers somehow. So I had to go through every single one of my stupid YouTube videos. And there's like 360 something. Well, there was 340 something at the time. And I had to go through them one by one and listen to every single word and make sure I wasn't saying a key word. And eating, reading, and exercising like all at the same time. That's fantastic. Multitasking. But I had to go through every single one and look for keywords. What keywords did I say that they're like, no, you can't do it? So I went through every single episode, and in all of the descriptions, I had to put in like a warning. And that's why I have that warning now at the very beginning of my episodes, because it's for entertainment purposes only, and y'all aren't supposed to do stupid things, so don't do stupid things. And it's my opinion, so you do research, and well, obviously they're like, okay, well, you went through everything. I had to cut out so much stuff. I only had to delete like 2 episodes, which was good because I was able to edit things out. And they're like, yay. So I finally got approved, which is good. And unfortunately, I started the channel like it was in January of last year. At the very end of January of last year. So all of my watch time from the very beginning is like dropping off, and they're like, oh, you have to get to 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers before you can be monetized, which I really don't care about. I don't care about being monetized. I don't need to make money. Obviously, it would be fantastic to make money off of this, but if I don't, I really don't care because I'm having a good time. Oh, Barry Stepp has to deal with YouTube politics. Yes, I love Barry. Like I said, I've been watching, well, I think I told you this. I've been watching Barry since he had like 50 something episodes. And my husband and I were watching him, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really love this. This is cool. And I was telling my husband that he should do that. I'm like, because he's more articulate. And I think he would make a good YouTube personality when it came to these topics. And I told him, I'm like, you should start a channel. You should start a channel. Yeah, Barry's awesome. And then I also like Explore the Weird with Teddy Ganja, because dude's like batshit crazy, and I love it. He's like just mad scientist and just all over the place. And he like, he calls it, I'm gonna freaking spiraling. There, I had a brain fart. He does the spiraling thing, which is a lot of fun. But I was telling my husband that he should do it. I'm like, you should do it. And then he looks at me, he's like, no, there's already enough dudes out here doing this. Because it's mostly gentlemen is what I have seen. Yeah, Teddy always spirals out. I love Teddy's spiral. It's so funny. It's good. And the goons, Ganja Goon Gang, I love them. GGG. Or is it triple cheese, right? But, and my husband's like, no, you should do it. Because there's already enough dudes out here doing this. And I'm like, fine. And that's why a lot of my early videos are crap. They're so bad. I'm sitting here, I got my phone propped up on like books so I can see myself, and I had no microphone and I was no lighting, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was like, screw it. I'm going to make something out of nothing. And I feel like it's become something. I mean, I have like 50 something regular viewers, even though it says I have 555 subscribers. I've got like 50 regular viewers, which is pretty cool. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And if you watch Kentucky Ballistics, right now is when he shakes a stick at the weapons system that he's featuring for that day. I watch a lot of YouTube. But so I started it, and it was really funny because in the beginning, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, you know what? Nobody's watching anyway, so I'm just going to do random things. And I was doing Mad Libs, which is stupid. I pulled off this Mad Libs website, and I was just, I would pull words out of clips and I would turn it into a Mad Lib at the very end. And I looked at those when I was going through all of my episodes, and that was so embarrassing. But I did it. I think I did it for like 15 episodes, and they were so bad. Who else is there? There's a couple of other folks that I watch that do the same thing. And I can't remember, not Araco. I like Araco though. He does like alpha male BS and women be, what did the women be doing? They're like, are men simping and stuff like that, and women all, oh, would you take me or $1,000? Guys are like, $1,000? Easy. But there's another one that I watch, and I cannot remember his name, and I have him. Oh, Huevo. I love Joaquin. Joaquin's great, and he does a little more of a variety thing going on. I am missing work phone calls. Oh no, I'm not. It's just a scam call. But Huevo's good too. And I was like, not a few months ago, but a month ago when I finally got partnership. Yeah, he is good. When I got my partnership, I was like, I was looking at them and I'm like, Nexor. I don't know who Nexor is. I may have to look into that. I don't have anything to write on. If I have something to write on, I'm going to write this down. Nexor. Because I like checking out other people's channels. You know, for a while I did like I did my shameless plug, and I would talk about a channel that I've been watching that is a small YouTube channel, and I talked about Teddy, and there were a few other people that my brain, British guy who wears a ski mask. I feel like I've seen that. No, I'm thinking of Sockhead. But hi, Aaron. Good to see you. British guy. You know, I have seen that one. I'm gonna have to subscribe to Nexor and check it out. But I was looking at all of these other YouTubers that do about the same thing and see how I don't know what they did. Segovia reacts. Okay. I'll have to check that one out too. Let me write that down. There. Okay. But I was looking at seeing what they did, and I was like, do I need to do what they're doing? And then my husband's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. And eventually, you know, if you get a larger following than you do, if not, who cares? Because I'm having a good time and I'm being myself and I'm not faking anything. I'm not like pretending to know things, because I know that I don't know a whole lot of things, and that's okay. Because it's me. It's who I am. Don't be them is what I had to do. And I kept focusing on what they're doing that made them so popular, and I had to get that out of my head, because that's not what's important. Don't be like them. The fact that you're not like them is what's supposed to be Good, right? I'm supposed to be flailing my arms about wildly like I do and rambling off at absolutely nothing because I don't know, what to do with my hands pretty much. I don't know everything, and that's okay. I have to remember that, and it's hard to think, beyond, wanting more attention. And nepotism is something or something special. Either sell out. Wait. My brain is not able to decipher. No, I'm not going to sell out because I don't want to be like everybody else. Could you imagine? Like you see these people and then they get one of their sponsors, right? And they're like, "Oh, I love this." Like Focus Factor, right? The food, the microwave food, and they're like doing the little commercials on their page or on their channel, and you're like, you don't eat that. You don't eat that. You only eat that right now because they're paying you to. And I get it. I don't know how much they pay, but if it's pretty handsome, I would probably pretend. No, I wouldn't. I don't know. There's some things where I would be like, no, never, never. Like those games, Clash of Clans. Like I could never be like, oh yeah, I play Clash of Clans because I don't. I don't do any of that stuff. It's a matter, yeah, persistence and patience, and I'm working on it. I'm just going to keep going. And then on days when I get behind because all of life is happening also, I'm just going to sit down and do a live stream. And eventually it will be a little more entertaining. But at the same time, there's that thing where everybody has the split screen when they do their live and they show you, clips of what they normally do on their channel. And do the exact same thing that they do on their channel, except interacting with folks. And I think it's a lot more challenging to have to think of things on the fly and keep a conversation going and ramble on for an entire hour or more. I don't know how people do more than an hour. I get to about 45 minutes, and that's when I'm usually like, okay, I'm going to go. And then it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to finally be like, okay, I'm going, even though sometimes I don't. I was saying something. I had a point, and then it went away. ICE. So I guess they're deploying agents. I just got a notification that I guess ICE is deploying agents in Seattle now. So is anybody near any of this? Because I'm 40 miles away from these raids, or not these raids, these riots. Sorry. Peaceful protests in Los Angeles. Is anybody near any of those? Glenn. Hey, Glenn, you're reading. What are you reading? I have to ask questions. Glenn. It's with one N, huh? Yeah, one N. I'm already, oh, like you, Aaron, how are the puppies? Aaron got need a moderator eventually, someone who reads and filters your comment section. I don't have enough people here. SCS Lewis. Oh, that's the one that you suggested to me, right? I don't have enough people in my comment section to read or moderate anything, so I'm good. I mean, I can easily read and moderate what people say. Handful. Yeah, it's a handful. It's good. I'm not concerned about it. I know like Joey. Yeah, maybe one day. I know, probably. Yeah, it was you said something about true Christianity and you suggested I read a book. Was that C.S. Lewis? I'm terrible at books. Oh, the dogs are a handful. Yes, they are. Puppies are a handful. I've a lot of people have recommended that I read some books. And not gonna lie, I have purchased several books and I've read about 2 chapters of one of them because I'm busy. I'm actually a busy person. I'm running a business. I've got a family. I still do the traditional wife stuff, you know, the cooking, cleaning, all while running a business and doing the labor necessary for the business. Like I actually am an employee of the business. So I am out there in the field doing all of the business things. So I work a lot, and that's why, you know, sometimes I do fall behind, especially when we start adding extra stuff like moving into the situation. Yes, Mere Christianity. I did a quick, okay, I'm sorry, but I did a quick Google search of it, and I read a little blurb just because I wanted to see what it was all about. Because, like I said, I'm non-religious, and I choose to be that way. I've been a Christian. I have done the whole church thing, and I've been through religion. I have a lot of religious people in my family whom I love deeply, and I truly respect and admire their religion and how that makes them feel. But I never felt like that was somewhere that I should be. And I still do believe, you know, that there's good and bad, not necessarily God and the devil, or good and evil. I do believe that there are things that are morally wrong, and that's my compass, is morality, not necessarily a God or a religion or a set structure by that definition, if you will. But I still, you know, I do believe in morality, and that's my compass. And I found that that compass works best for me, as well as accountability, like self accountability. So maybe I will have to check that out. I'm saying that because I always say that when people are like, here's a book you should read, and then I go buy the book. I have a stack of books that I don't read. I haven't read. There was a Big Bang. I love Randy. Randy's always been like a super great supporter of the channel, and he's fantastic, and he's recommended so many books like Behold a Pale Horse, and I don't even know if I've already packed it. No, it was Lockwood Thexton that had suggested I read the acid test one. That's the one that I bought, and I got 2 chapters in and I stopped because I ran out of time. Apparently Glenn is pretty good. He says, well, respect to anyone who can read C.S. Lewis. Apparently Glenn can read C.S. Lewis very well, because he calls it, what did he call it? He called it an easy read. Where did it go? Quick read, a quick read. So it is warm in here, and my sunburn is not helping me. It was hot yesterday. Wasn't hot. UV factor was insane. Can you even see it? No, probably not. I don't know why I'm asking. All right. So the puppies, what did we name the puppies, Erin? And what kind of working out you doing, Glenn? 107? No thanks. Well, you are also in the desert. I'm going to go to a place where it doesn't get over 90 quite regularly, because here it gets so bad. I know when we first moved into this place, well, I mean, we've always lived in this area. I grew up in this area my entire life. When we moved in, like right after, there was 2 weeks where it was over 115 every single day, and for 2 weeks, and it was crazy. And the electricity here is enough to drive a person crazy. And my husband likes to have a very cold house, and I am not fond of a very cold house. Where am I? Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on your shorts, Erin. I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't have social media for a very long time, like 10 years, like none. No Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. Choctaw names for dog and wolf. Ophi and Nashoba. Ophi and Nashoba. That's cool. Those are really cool names. But I had no social media. Zero. I did none of that. I remember having a MySpace once. I did have a Facebook for a little while, and then I was like, you know what? I don't need social media. It's all crap. And then I started this channel, and I was like, okay, I'm probably going to need social media to like help, promote it and find like-minded folks that want to discuss stuff with me, which I decided was a good idea. So I got all of the social medias, and now I have Facebook, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have X, I actually have Truth Social too. There's a whole bunch of them that I've got, and like at the beginning, I was super active and I was pushing everything on there, and I was like, okay, I can do this, and then I hate it. I'm not a big fan of the social media world because the stuff that you see, it's just, obviously it's cherry picked. It's the stuff that people want you to see. And it's not reality. Nobody's really posting reality. So I kind of fell back from that a little bit. I still poke in there once in a while. So anybody that does follow me on social media, you just know that I'm terrible at it because I don't care enough about it. I never really did for a very long time, and I got along just fine without it. And now that I have it, I'm like, do I need to check it? And it'll be days in between like checking it. I feel real bad because that's where I met Randy, um, Big Bang. He's, one of a little member of our community, a member of our little community. And he posts some incredible stuff. So if you want to go onto Facebook and check out his stuff, he's Randy Shelton. And he's there's a group that I'm in. It's called Mr. E something. I can't even remember it. Afterthoughts? Yes, Mr. E Afterthoughts. And it's a great little group, and there's a lot of cool people in there, and they have a lot of great points and conspiracies and stuff like that. And Mr. E also does a lot of interesting stuff. He's done a really big deep dive into Epstein files, and he comes back and forth around those. But Randy, Big Bang, just thanks for your support. I know you'll probably see this and say fantastic as always, as you usually do, and I appreciate you. But I'm sorry that I am absent when it comes to social media. I have a hard time devoting time to that. And I don't know if it's because I'm selfish or self-centered and I don't want to give other people that time, or because it's not something like I feel like I need to do. Right? Does that make sense? Like I feel like I don't want to, maybe. Not necessarily I don't want to give other people time, but because I still do this channel, every time I have an opportunity, I'm sitting down and doing some work on it. But I don't feel like that's really them and social media. Some people it is, like I said, like Big Bang, the stuff that he posts, it's not like, oh, look at what I'm doing today. It's look what's going on in the government type stuff. And that's more important than, what are you eating? That was huge when I first got off of social media. Is everybody was posting their food, and it was constantly, and I was like, okay, well, I've gotten to this point where if I want to see what you are eating, we're face to face, and I either made it for you or we're eating it together. It's not, I don't want pictures of your food. And it drove me crazy. That was really, really big. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how many people still do that. I know I've done it a few times because when I got back into social media, I was like, hey, everybody's doing this. So I started doing it again. Yeah, time is too precious to waste on minutia. But I mean, it's really difficult to be like, oh, I don't want to do it, because it's not that people aren't important enough. It's that, are we really having a meaningful interaction? Like, I feel like social media is, I don't know, I feel like it's bad. Like what it used to be versus how I went for 10 years without it. It was nice. It was nice to not have that. And I just want everybody to know that I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just really bad at social media. I love personal interactions. Like in-person stuff is more meaningful. Yeah. Yeah, as long as I give more than I take, I feel good about an interaction. That is true, Erin. That is very true. And it's hard to have interactions in person, I've noticed. Well, not. I've noticed that society has become different in that situation. Like it is becoming less personal interactions, like societal interactions. I can do words, I promise. A lot of people are having a lot of difficulty when it comes to actually meeting people in person and maintaining those relationships, because everything online on social media is so fake, and then you get to know them in person after interacting with them online for an extended period of time, and it's not the same thing. And a lot of youth don't know how to have real life person to person interactions. Excuse me, because online you can pretty much say whatever you want, and you know what's going to happen. You can be a troll, you can be a keyboard jockey, or whatever you want to be. A keyboard gremlin, what is that word? But people, you know, they don't know how to react when real life situations hit them, because everything is behind a screen, and you can run your mouth all you want and nobody's going to say anything, and you can jump into this chat and be a troll and jump over here and say this, that, and the other thing, and there's no real consequences. And then when they start having consequences, they don't know how to react. They completely melt down because there is no tough love in their life. It's, I mean, whoopings, we need to bring back whoopings. That's my opinion. I agree that whoopings should be brought back because I was whooped and I'm just fine. I can handle consequences of my actions. And a lot of the youth, they cannot. A lot of the youth that's hidden behind a screen, it's hard to do. And we watch these videos, it's body cam footage of people just losing their minds. I know my rights. You can't do this. You can't do that. And I'm just sitting there going, these people were never told no. They don't know how to deal with consequences. There's no consequences in school anymore. You can go into a classroom and run your mouth constantly and the teacher can do nothing. I remember, my school, the teachers were allowed to do stuff, and these kids, they just get away with crap. Just the things you hear students saying to teachers, disrespecting their elders, and it's absolutely insane what society has become. And it starts in our schools, I think. All right, I'm behind on what Erin has to say. Let's see. If the person I'm interacting with gives more than they take, then the interaction will end up being even. Oh, we'll end up being even if you look at it from a transactional perspective. I guess so, huh? Eye contact is considered a microaggression. Do you feel like I'm abusing you? What is it? Not abusing you. Am I I don't even know what the words are because that's so stupid. Microaggressions is crap. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Everything apparently is a microaggression. If you chew too loudly, it's a microaggression. Everything is that's so stupid. I hate it. I hate it. Am I triggering you? That's what it was. Am I triggering you? Are you getting triggered? We're an instant gratification nation. Yeah, we absolutely are. And nobody wants to wait for the good things. Like nobody wants to go to school and actually learn something. We all want to be done with school so we can move on to the next thing. We all want to have that very high paying job without putting in the effort. Everybody wants to be a YouTube star or TikTok star. And that's why I'm always saying I don't really care if money comes out of this, because this is something that I want to do. Because it's fun and I do it in my free time. And I love the interactions that happen with the individuals that interact with me. So thank you so much for being part of this. I appreciate you all the time. yeah, instant gratification, and the fact that I mean, well, everything shows instant gratification down to advertising, because everybody uses what is that called, psychology, to advertise, and it makes people like, ooh, I want that. I are the impulse buy aisles. I always think about that in the grocery store, instant gratification, because you go and you buy something and you feel really good about it because it's right there. It's the impulse buy. It catches your eye, and that's not quite instant gratification that I'm sure you were talking about. We all want to feel like every day a little win, a little champion. You got to be the champion of something, and nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to put in the work. That's why it's crazy when you see, what was it, like Johnny Somali? Is that who it was? The guy that was doing crazy things, and he's finally getting in trouble. But all of these kids really are out there doing a live stream all freaking day long because they get, I don't know, people talking to them all the time, and that's what they want, is the attention, and that's the instant gratification that they're getting, is the attention, and that's why they do it constantly. And that's what a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to do that because I don't have to go to school. I don't have to learn anything. I can just show everybody my face. And then there are some people that want to show everybody their nether regions to make a lot of money. And it doesn't matter the consequences that are coming of it, because that's not forever. That can't last forever. You have to do something sustainable, but nobody seems to understand that. You have to do something sustainable. Well, not nobody. I mean, the younger generations are like, they don't want to put in the work. And you know what? You got to put in the work. Sometimes you just got to freaking do something that is, going to last for a long time. I mean, it's not easy. And don't look for easy. And that's probably the problem, is everybody just wants right now. It has to happen right now. And that's rough. All right. I want to get off of that topic. Does anybody want to talk about, have you guys seen those Bigfoot vlog things? I think it was Mateus. It may have also been Priest who told me about them a few days ago. It's like they're like, come on, do words. It's the AI generated Bigfoot, where they're like talking about how they're like spooking campers and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, I was going to this place and I saw somebody sucking on this funny little thing and blowing smoke out, and so I picked it up and now I can't stop, because they were like using the vape. And those are so funny. Hey, it's good to see you, Terry's Speed Shop. Are you Terry? Is that actually your name? Can I call you Terry, or is that not your name? Good morning. Is it still morning? Where is it? I don't even know where people are. But yeah, it's already almost 9 o'clock here. Yes, Terry. Cool. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. How are you doing? Bigfoot blogs are kind of funny, but AI is dumb. I hate seeing a lot of AI stuff. It's frustrating, and I try my best not to do so much AI stuff on the channel, but once in a while there's just a really good story that is AI done. That's great. I'm glad you're doing wonderful. A lot of Tennessee. Really? I got family in Tennessee, just right around Nashville area. Is there rioting happening there? Yeah, AI will end us. There is a lot. I mean, listen to Elon Musk. He's saying so. It's going to be the birth of the devil. But I try not to do too much AI stuff, because it's just, it is the whole dead internet thing, right? Everything is AI. Nothing is actual people. And I try to see actual people. And sometimes I even get fooled by it. But those Bigfoot stories, come on, they're pretty funny. They're getting a little big, which is making them a little less funny. I don't like when things get like super big and then they just start getting really campy. Like they just start grasping at straws, really, trying to make something out of it. And you can tell when they're just trying a little bit too hard. Sometimes try a little bit too hard, it happens. And that's when I decide, okay, time to take a step back. If this isn't something that I enjoy, stop doing it. Good thing I really enjoy this. Tennessee. What part of Tennessee are you in, Terry? I mean, don't tell me the city. I don't want to be all like broadcasting your whereabouts, but like east, west, north, south. Why would they riot on Flag Day? Wait, what day is that? That's Monday. Is that Monday? When is Flag Day? We took the calendar down. Yeah, yeah. Amen to that. That's what needs to happen. And that's why they're like, okay, I don't know if you know this, but Koreans it's Saturday. Thank you. Appreciate you letting me know about the holidays. Terrible. My flag's always up. But they were talking, I guess, yesterday. Oh my goodness. What? Okay, I have to hit that. I didn't hit it before it blew away. Thank you, Aaron. That was so sweet of you. Oh my goodness. I got $2. But their trending was Koreans, right? Because we talk about, I guess it was not the LA riots. Yeah, the original LA riots. What was it, 93 or something like that? I can't remember the exact year when the whole Rodney King thing happened. And it was like the first televised incident that I can think of. And I was still very young, but maybe I think it was, I'm not sure. Somebody look it up and tell me what year the first LA riots were. Not first, but when the whole Rodney King thing happened. And the riots went on for a very long time. And then there were the Koreans in Koreatown that were on their roofs as a half a cup of coffee. 92. Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. Love you, Aaron. But the Koreans in Koreatown were on their roofs with their pew-pews, and they were not taking any crap from anybody that was trying to loot their property. And you can't do that here in California. You can't have weapons. I mean, you can, but they have to be locked up in a safe, a big safe. And the bullets have to be somewhere completely different, locked up as well, which is, it just basically defeats the point of having them in a lot of situations. So the Koreans were up on the roofs, and they were shooting the people that were trying to loot their businesses, and they were protecting what is theirs. I know there is like you can defend your castle in other states. Well, I mean, here I guess you can too, but you have to go to your safe. Excuse me, coffee. Sorry. You have to go to your safe and put in your combination and remove your weapon system, and then Zoot Suit riots. You know what I mean. Smarty pants. And then you have to go to another safe and get the projectiles that go inside of your pew-pew. And by then, it's too late. So that's what's happening here. Yeah, a lot of states can open carry. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, because that's trending right now. Koreans is like trending. Like we need people up on the rooftops to stop this from happening, because last night a whole bunch, I mean, it's still going. It's still happening. And now it's in a bunch of other cities in California, and stupid Newsom is still like, hey, they're peaceful. We don't need any help. We got this. No, you don't. No, you don't. But Koreans was trending because they're like, hey, we need some folks up on the rooftops protecting their stuff, and that's why that became like a huge thing. Yeah, Tennessee can open carry without a permit. A lot of states are much better about that than California. California, it takes months and months to get a CCL. Is it CCL? Yeah, concealed carry license, I guess. Yeah, months. It takes months to do it, because you have to go through all the background, and then a bunch of other stuff, and then authorizations, and then you have to take safety courses and sign your life away. And it's ridiculous to be able to carry in California. So most people are just like not even going through that. But a lot of people aren't here properly. Yeah, it's Decoy Voice. That's where I just saw that last night. There was a funny noise behind me. I think the ice machine finally let some ice out. Oh, I have a loud refrigerator. But yeah, that Decoy Voice, that's who I was watching when he was talking about that. He was wearing the shirt, and I was trying to remember what year he had on the shirt. Because my son was like, why does it say that? And then we got into it, and we were talking about that. We had permits for a while, but they changed our laws, and now we don't need one. That's great. That's great. I know a lot of places are like that, and it should be. I mean, I feel like it should be allowed. I remember when Koreans were huge, rooftop Koreans, right? I guess there's a documentary about rooftop Koreans, and my son wants to watch it, so we're gonna have to watch that so he can get an idea of, California riot history. I forgot what I was saying. God, I don't. Oh, I remember when those were happening. When was it in '92? I was very young, but at Walmart here, they still sold weapons. Like you can go into a Walmart and purchase them. And we were in, oh gosh, where were we? 2 years ago, we took a trip to Houston, and while we were there, we went into the Bass Pro Shop, and actually it wasn't Bass Pro Shop, it's Cabela's out there. And boxes of bullets just out on the shelf like pasta, just up on the shelf like nothing. And we're like, what? Because here, if you would like to purchase bullets, you stand in line and you wait because it takes forever. And a person will get your information, and they'll fill out some forms, and then they'll ask you what you need, and they'll tell you whether or not they have it, because a lot of times they just don't. And then you fill out some more forms, and then you sign a bunch of things, and then it has to go and get approved by 2 people. And then once they come back, you have to wait just a little bit and then sign another form, and then you get your ammunition, which is dumb. It takes a long time. We can still, dude, don't even get me started on stupid emission laws. Okay, hot rods without emission laws, yes. We own 2 diesel vehicles, okay? One of them, thank goodness, is an 06. It's the Chevy Silverado 2500. It's the first year where they put the Allison transmission in it, and my brain just can't do it all of a sudden. But yeah, we have an 06 Chevy, and I love that truck. It's my favorite truck. And it does not have any emission stuff on it. It's a diesel. It just passed smog. Thank goodness. I'm afraid that I thought that they would be like, no, you can't do it anymore because it's a diesel. And now here in California, we have this thing called a DEF system. And you have to put in fluid into this diesel exhaust system, because when a diesel emits exhaust, it's soot. Hi, Anaya. Good to see you, honey. It's soot, right? And it settles. But what they do is you have to buy this fluid stuff and put it into a separate system. And what it does is it collects that soot. The system collects that exhaust soot, and then it adds the fluid to it and burns it off, and then puts it out of the exhaust. It's the dumbest thing ever. And we have one truck that has that, and we hate it. It's just a pain in the butt, because like every couple weeks we got to go buy more of this crap to put in it, because if we don't, then we don't pass emissions. Well, we wouldn't pass emissions, but they have sniffers now, because a lot of people were taking those systems out, just ripping them out, and they have sniffers. So it's like a particle sensor on like on-ramps or off-ramps or whatever, and it just sits there with the police officer or whoever's monitoring the sniffer, excuse me, and it'll like tell how many parts per whatever. It basically tells if you are running a diesel vehicle with the DEF system removed, which is dumb because, well, I mean, because it's against the law in California to have a diesel vehicle under a certain age without this stupid DEF system. And my husband's like, we're gonna rip it out. We're just, as soon as we get out of California, we're ripping it out. And I don't want him to rip it out. I would much rather just trade the vehicle in for a properly built diesel vehicle, because that's bullshit. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. I am out of coffee. All right. Give me like a second. I'm going to go grab a bottle of water. Or water. We get water. All right. You can see I don't have my stand-in anymore because we had to let that go. I wanted to take it with us, but we're moving to a much smaller house. You fell back asleep. Dude, it's like 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12 there? Is it 12 there? Anaya? Yeah, the emissions laws are ridiculous. And you know that freaking, where are we? We used to have to test emissions, or we used to have emissions test every vehicle newer than 75, but they did away with that. Really? We have to smog test our vehicles every single year. Diesels never used to have to be smogged. And that started, I think I smogged my grandfather's truck. Gosh, that must have been 10 years ago, before he moved in with us. And he was with us for 7 years before he passed away. So that was 3 years ago. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. I had to smog his truck, his diesel. And it was the very first time I had ever taken a diesel to get smogged, and I was like, I don't understand. Why are we smogging diesels now? Taxing a right is blatantly unconstitutional if the tax infringes on the exercise of that right. I agree. Taxing a right is blatantly unconstitutional. Yeah, we tax, everything is taxed. Everything is taxed. All of the things are taxed. Hey, listen, I went to sleep at 3:30 and woke up at 7:26. Why did you go to sleep at, well, because you're a kid. Kids do that. Yeah, my son does that. I mean, he got up this morning because he had to go to work, so he's out working right now. I don't know when he's going to be back, but he's out working. And he's younger than you. That doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying as a fact. I'm not saying anything about your sleep habits. I totally understand sleep habits. I mean, hell, my daughter, who is older than you, is still asleep right now. So, and it's 9 o'clock. So she probably did the same thing where she stayed up late. Okay, we had something going, and I can't remember. My brain, I had something else that I wanted to say, and I can't remember. Oh. So the reason I want to have my husband not rip out that exhaust system, or that the DEF system, is because I want to get a properly built diesel. When we were out in the state that we're planning to move to, the truck drove by, and I was like, why does the truck sound weird? And he's like, that's what a real diesel sounds like. And I'm like, why doesn't ours sound like that? Because it sounds sad. Like I had 86. Was it an 86? No, it was a 92. I had a 92 F350 diesel dually. Was one of my first vehicle was a 73 Pontiac Grand Safari. And then I got the diesel, and it had a Banks exhaust in it, and she was throaty and just growled, and I love when you like open her up and clear her throat, and she just freaking blows that black smoke. And that was my favorite truck because she was a beast, and she sounded I'm going to call him in just a second. I'm going to step away. But I remember that sound and that feel of that proper like truck. And then it all went away and it's not happening anymore. But in another state, they still have real trucks, but real vehicles. I love the sound of an old pickup, an old gasoline pickup, and the smell. My brother had a 3/4 ton Dodge something or other a while back. And I got all blurry. Did I get blurry? Okay. I got to wrap it up. My husband's calling. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I am so sorry. I got to go. He's going to be so pissed because I just hung up on him again. And I have an episode set up for tomorrow, and I will see you then. Have a great day. Oh, no. Oh, he does that. Give me a call when you have a chance. Yeah, but I'm going to go. I am actually going to go. It was great talking with you guys. I appreciate you being here. Prince, Terry, Glenn, Aaron. Who did I miss? Anaya? Got you all, I think. All right, guys. Have a great day. I got to do the pushy button thingy.